Hello, Infinity! More specifically, hello, YouTube! This is my first ever YouTube video. Hi, my name's Arden, and I like to do art in all of its fun and funky forms. So if that's something you're interested in, please join me and continue watching. I kind of like to be a jack of all trades. I really like to get into whatever really sparks my interest in the moment. Today's project is making my persona, the representation of me and the little guy that sits in the corner and makes his facial expressions and gives a face to what's going on screen. Let's jump right into it. Starting off with a solid base. It's a bit of a messy sketch, but I just want to make sure that I'm getting all the proportions in place and giving myself a solid foundation before I continue working on everything else. It's really important to make sure that everything is how I want it. Moving on, I actually use the symmetry tool to make sure that everything is symmetrical starting off. I want to make sure that everything is even and proportional and making sure that everything lines up the way that I want it, because it's what I'll be basing all my other little doodles off of. Zooming into the face, I get started on the eyes and nose. And it took me a while to make sure that my persona wasn't accidentally cross-eyed. Sometimes when you're using the symmetry tool, getting the placement of the iris and pupil can be a little bit difficult, but I got there in the end. It wasn't too bad. After roughing in the mouth, I also get started on the glasses, trying to rough in the shape, and then I remember that I don't need to do the glasses yet. I want to do the eyebrows to make sure that I'm positioning the glasses more proportionally to my face. I turn off some of my messy sketch layers to get a more clear picture of what's going on, and then move to a separate layer to do the glasses. It just makes sure it's easier to edit the glasses into place and get them how I want them without accidentally messing up the sketch underneath. Really proud of how these glasses turned out. I have a really fun idea for them a little bit later on when it comes to color and lighting, but for now I just have this really funky shape and the drippies underneath the lenses to add some more visual interest to the face. Change the layer color of the glasses just to make them stand out a little bit more and make them easier to remember what actually is the lines of the glasses and not the lines of the face. I also rough in my little dragon in my bun. Her name is Swatch, and she is my little shoulder dragon, and I love her so much. She's my little baby. Moving on, I try to figure out what kind of outfit my persona should be wearing. And let me tell you, I am not good at fashion. I really struggle with trying to come up with unique clothing for my different characters to wear. It's something that I still need to practice on. It took me a couple of tries, and none of them were really turning out the way that I want them. This last one here was getting a little bit closer to what I end up going up with, but nothing really looked right. So finally I had to take a step back and move into a medium I was a little bit more comfortable with. That's right, a notepad and a ballpoint pen. Something about scribbling on paper and not really taking it seriously really helps me figure out what I want to do and how I want to proceed forward. I start off with a couple of different facial expressions, trying to really nail down how I want the face to move and look like and what kind of faces my persona will be making in the future. Then moving on to more full body sketches and trying to figure out more so how I want the outfit to look. You would think that in a more permanent medium I would be more nervous of messing up, but there's something just about a lined notebook paper that really helps get my ideas out the way that I want them to be. Back in my digital program, I finally get the outfit to something that I am proud of and I enjoy looking at.
Granted, I still don't know what I'm doing with the shoes yet. I really hate drawing shoes. And then I start moving on to cleaning up the line work to make sure that everything is nice and smooth.
and start to block in some colors and do some color theory to figure out what kind of palette I'll be working with. The first two, again, were a little hit and miss, but the second one I really started to nail down something that I enjoy. The overcoat shawl thing, I have plans to make more iridescent. I scribble in a lot of pastel-y colors and then move to blur all of them together to give it that nice faded iridescent soft celestial look. Underneath, I work on getting the jumpsuit, I guess, is kind of what this is. A nice navy to match everything. And then it took me forever to figure out what kind of brush I wanted to use to get the star effect I was looking for. But in the end, it really wasn't that bad. And I remember that I have other parts to work on. Blocking in my skin tone, my hair, and trying to get a fun dye gradient going on in my hair. Get too distracted on the colors because this is just a reference sheet and that's not really what I wanted to focus on today. I scooch myself over and start doing a bit of a turnaround so that I can see what my Sona is going to look like from different angles. I'm using the guidelines to make sure that everything is within the parameters of my persona. But seriously, why is it so hard to draw a straight line? A little cheat code for the back view is you just copy and paste the front view and then draw over it. Aha! And the different angles are really important because I have big plans for this persona. But unfortunately, that's all I have for today. I really do appreciate you giving this a watch and thank you for hearing me out, and hopefully we can go down this art journey together. Thank you so much, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. Okay, bye. The glasses are neon rope, by the way. I didn't end up saying it later on because there wasn't really a good shot to show the coloring them in, but yes, the different drippies underneath the lenses are actually going to change color, which I'm very excited for. Okay, bye.